Welcome back to Whisky Whims with me, Stuart. Today we've got a 33-year-old North British from 8 Doors Distillery under their Seven Sons range, which is kind of their independent bottle styles whilst we wait for their official releases. So this is 46.1% ABV, like I say, 33-year-old, and it cost about £90. Now I wanted to touch on the price quickly because Skeen, I believe they're called, like Skeen Do, but they're just Skeen, I'm sure that's where the name comes from, S-K-E-N-E. They released a 34-year-old North British just recently for, I don't know, something mental like 40 quid or 30 quid. It was on Aberdeen Whisky Shop. An absolute steal, but it has got me wondering about this kind of topic of race to the bottom, because Skeen aren't a relatively, they're not too established, they're a relatively new outfit. I am actually not sure who owns them, what their funding's like. I'm pretty sure they're independent. I don't think they're heavily backed. I could be wrong, but it just seems insane. This came out like a year or two ago, and at the time, £90 for a 33-year-old grain whisky was reasonable, and it is relatively in with what grain whiskies cost at that age. So I just don't understand how these companies are releasing them. What their margins, profit margins must be tiny. They must be making it either a loss or just a profit. Because I know Thompson Bros as well, they've released a North British, they released it for particularly cheap as well. It was quite cheap. But yeah, anyway, that was just a quick touch on that. I don't want to go too into depth about it because this is about this bottle, the cost of this, the taste of it, and if it's a Whisky Win or a Whisky Bin. So we'll get down to the nose, palate, finish, and we'll see what's what. So the nose, I'm kind of getting like unsweetened muffins, like, I don't know, the only reason I'm saying this is quite specific. I know it's specific. We made kind of healthy muffins from like an Instagram recipe, and it was made with Greek yogurt, flour, a little bit of salt, and then just fruit. So there was no sugar in it at all. And just as they came out the oven, they're kind of still warm. That's what I'm smelling here. I'm also getting a bit of, I don't know, boiled like sweets. It is a little bit sweet in the nose. It's also quite oaky, wood varnish, wood like chippings or wood shavings. Sorry, I don't know why I said wood varnish. I was trying to think of wood shavings, and that's what came to my head. But yeah, like almost like pencil shavings. It feels or it smells warm. Like I said, with the warm muffins just out the oven. I don't know how to describe that scent, but it just smells a bit warm. And it's not the glass, the whiskey, it's not particularly warm. It just smells that way. Yeah, a perfectly fine nose, not any harshness, I would say. I'm not getting any of those chemical elements. I was wanting to say malty, but that kind of contradicts a grain whisky. But there is like something, I don't know how to describe this. It's like, is it starchy? No, it can't be starchy. It's like, it reminds me of Shreddies, the cereal, the actual big bricks that you get. That's what it reminds me of. Still linking back to this kind of unsugared, unsweetened muffin, but the also unsweetened cereal, which is the Shreddies. So I'm kind of getting that. And I think that's all I'm really getting on the nose for now. Quite an interesting nose, to be fair. It is actually a little bit green as well, a little bit fresh. I think when I done the Invergordon a couple of weeks ago and I was getting green apples, and I'm kind of getting that here as well. Anyway, the palate. Yeah. I'm getting hard-boiled sweets again, like rhubarb and custard, just minus the rhubarb. There's not really rhubarb there, but it's got that. I don't know if you just get those kind of custard sweets. I'm getting like lemon, what do you call them? Little hard-boiled lemon, like not cough drops, but it's not sherbety anyway either. It's just like a hard-boiled lemon sweet. There's more oak, there's more wood. There's a little bit of just a touch of that chemical element that I do get in grains, and it's there. It is evident. It's not off-putting, it's not completely ruining it, but it is there. I feel the palate's just a little, it's not as complex as I was expecting from the nose. The nose felt a little bit more complex. The palate's just, I don't know, it's a grain whiskey that doesn't, I would say it's like in the middle. It doesn't overperform. I think the Invergordon that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago performed a little bit better in the palate, but this doesn't underperform either. It's still solid. It's just kind of a grain whiskey. Could it be any other grain whiskey? Possibly. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't feel like there's anything too unique about it, which is not a bad thing. It's tasty. It's easy. That's how I'd probably describe it. I don't think too many people would be like to be described as easy, but I suppose a whiskey isn't a person. But it is. It's easy. It's what's the word? It's unoffensive. It's not offensive. It's easy going. Possibly a little bit of like dried banana there, or dehydrated banana that you'd get in cereals, or that you get in like a kind of fruit and nut mix, something like that. It's pretty obvious, just a dehydrated banana. That kind of covers it, Stuart. I'm just trying to think what else there is. There's a kind of bitterness towards the end of the palate, a little bit of, I don't know if that's from the tannins or what. I don't know, there's something like just a little bit bitter. Yeah, I'm not sure. The finish is medium to long. That bitterness goes into the finish from the palate, and it's almost like burnt custard. You've got the creaminess of the custard, but you've maybe just burnt it at the bottom a little bit, and you're getting it through the custard. Not all the custard's burnt, just a little bit of the custard's burnt, and you're just getting a little sense of it on your tongue. That's what's on the finish. There's also marzipan on the finish for sure. There's a little bit of nuttiness and more wood. I feel like there's a lot of, yeah, definitely wood shavings on the nose. There's a lot of wood throughout. I feel like oak, kind of a little bit like licking a cask on the palate, and then on the finish there's just a little bit of leftover remainder oak and wood as well. So yeah, quite woody, but quite enjoyable nonetheless. I'd say, without ruining anything, I'd say bang average. I think that's how I would describe it. So we'll get down to the rating. And if you're new here, how I rate my whiskies on 3 factors. Would I buy it again? Do I think it's worth it? And would I recommend it? So, do I think it's worth it? For what the performance is, and when I'm thinking back to the Invergordon 26-year-old, similar price, if not a little bit cheaper, I would struggle to buy this over that. And they're both grains. Yes, they're different distillery. The Invergordon's slightly younger and slightly cheaper, £10, £15 cheaper, so I think I would be hard pushed to buy this again. I'm obviously going to buy more Seven Sons, I'm obviously going to buy more 8 Doors, but this, sorry I just burped, this one in particular, I don't think I would buy again. Do I think it's worth it? I think now with the recent prices plummeting, and I mean plummeting with Thompson Bros, that Skeen bottler, like I said, even some Diageo bottles getting cut, I think it's hard to justify the price of this bottle, but I'm gonna review it when it came out, and I think it is worth it. It's £90, you're getting a well-aged grain, 33-year-old, and I know this might sound a bit contradictory because your value for money could be elsewhere with Thompson Bros, with Skeen, but this came out a couple of years ago, and I think prices were different a couple of years ago. It'd be interesting to see what their new grains would be like, their new pricing structure would be like, and also the fact that I'm quite content paying for this, knowing that it's going to a distillery that's run by Ryan, run by a friend, a fellow Tabes member, and a Patreon supporter. And yes, that can be seen as bias, but I believe in him. I think he's going places. Hopefully, 8 Doors goes places and gives him the free rein to do what he wants as well, because I honestly do believe in him. And maybe that's affecting my judgment of this bottle. So we'll put that out there, that it probably is affecting my judgment, saying that it's worth it. But I'm happy to pay that, knowing that it's going to the right place, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't buy it again. I'm on the fence of whether it's worth it. Okay, we'll say I'm on the fence. And would I recommend it? Yeah, I think if you're not into grain, this probably isn't the one for you. It's a grain whiskey. It's pretty average in terms of grain whiskies, so it might not be one for someone who wants to get into grain. If you're already established and know grain whiskies, you're probably going to enjoy it. When I say average, I don't mean like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's not bad. It's a grain whiskey. When you're thinking about malt whiskies, it's just average. And I know I shouldn't compare it to malt whiskies because it's a grain, but when I think about the Invergordon as well, it performs a little below the Invergordon. So I would recommend it to grain drinkers. If you like grain, you're probably going to like it. It's easy going, it's an easy drinker, easy sipper, nothing too offensive about it. So we'll get down to the rating, if it's a Whisky Bin or a Whisky Win. I'm actually just going to flip on this one because one, I don't want the responsibility. I don't want to upset Ryan. And two, I am somewhat on the fence. Like I said, the pricing's, the cheapskate in me and the frugal part of me struggles with the pricing now, thinking about other pricing, like I said, Thompson Bros and Skeen, but at the same time, the moral part of me knows that the pricing's probably making them a good profit, a reasonable profit, and also it helps go into Ryan's future, so that's how I see it. So anyway, we're going to flip on it because it's like 1.5 out of 3. So yeah, like I say, usually if we get 2 out of 3 it's a Whisky Win, if we get 1 out of 3 it's a Whisky Bin. So I'm on the fence with this one. I'm going to flip it. There's not going to be a cuts, so it's a Whisky Bin. I am so sorry. It's a Whisky Bin. So there you have it, the gods of the whisky world have spoken. It was flipped and Chance has taken it, so sorry Ryan. I've been Stuart, this has been Whisky Whims, I'll see you later.